Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. Today's a fantastic day. Next week, exactly next week, will be President Trump victorious, going 8 years, getting reelected, like I've stated for four straight years. So I have said that President Trump is going 8 years, and I can't possibly believe they'd be going with the exhumed body. But if they're so inept as to go with the exhumed body, because you know my thoughts on Madam Secretary, I just can't believe that they would be so absolutely, utterly inept to go with somebody who the other day said that we've had enough of George Bush. So Biden actually stated that we had enough of George Bush, something to that effect. Orange Grove 55. Biden's actually up by double digits. Why can't he get more than 7 people at a rally? He's not up by double digits. Orange Grove 55. That is absurd. That is the most absurd fairy tale of Democrats. I have stated categorically all the time, every day for the past 4 years, and every day since polls came out pertaining to Trump and Botox B, I've been saying that it's a bunch of nonsense. Now, Amy Coney Barrett is going to be confirmed. When you read this, she will have been confirmed. Or when you see this, when most people see this segment, she will have been confirmed as President Trump's third Supreme Court justice. Don't cheat Bernie Sanders. Next time, don't cheat your candidates. How's that? They cheated Bernie Sanders in 2016, and thank God President Trump won. He is reversing U.S. foreign policy. Any rebuttal to what he's doing, you better make sure you're not voting alongside the Lincoln Project. If you vote Democrat, you are voting for Lincoln Project foreign policy, and you are voting alongside the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld foreign policy advisors and political advisors and political strategists. The same people who ran on a marriage amendment, the same people who pushed for never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. The same people who are directly responsible. See, they say that Trump is responsible for the pandemic. He's not. No, he's not. He didn't design or create or there's nothing that he did specifically to bring the pandemic. There is 1 million out of 2.5 million Americans. Well over 1 million of the 2.3 million Americans that served under Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, and President Obama, who have been injured in some manner. That includes PTSD, that includes traumatic brain injuries, that includes hearing loss. There are veterans who now have hearing loss. You see the class action lawsuits because of the earplugs that didn't work. And there are all types of injuries. And you look at, and Democrats don't care if, they don't view this as an existential threat. It is an existential threat to have American soldiers stationed within counterinsurgency conflicts, because you bring the country, first of all, it's immoral what you're doing to soldiers and their families. It is immoral what you're doing. And the country owes the people who protect us a lot better, infinitely better. But also you're bringing Americans closer to a potential nuclear confrontation. Madam Secretary, the genius, wanted a no-fly zone outside of Damascus, above Damascus. Well, who do you think's flying above Damascus? It would be Top Gun 2, 3, 4, and then Top Gun the end. So, you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, who are these people that think they're so morally superior? Who are these people that think that they're so intellectually superior? These are the same people. Nobody can say they opposed George W. Bush if they voted for Clinton in 2016, and if they're voting Democrat in 2020. You are literally voting alongside the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld strategists and advisors and the neoconservatives. So if you are a person who wants Medicare for all and you're voting Democrat, you will never, ever get Medicare for all, a Green New Deal bill. The resolution was a shameless public relations stunt. You're not going to abolish the Electoral College. Look, you're not going to get Medicare for all. They don't want Medicare for all, Democrats. That's a Green New Deal policy. That's a Green Party policy. Okay, the left thinks that they could turn the Democratic Party into the Green Party. It's not going to happen. It'll never happen, ever. Those same Democrats who say, oh yeah, well, Medicare for all sounds great. When their taxes go up, they don't want it. A Democrat is an established Democratic Party is an establishment Republican Party that is socially liberal. There are about 5 things that separate establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats. Other than that, they're pretty much the same party, as you've seen with John Kasich and Mitt Romney and the Lincoln Project. Don't say they're different. President Trump is different. The Green Party is different. Tulsi Gabbard is different. Okay, the people who want Medicare for all and vote Democrat, they are helping the Democratic Party get away with the theft of people's hopes and dreams, and it's just such a racket and grift. You want to talk about the biggest grifters? The biggest grifters are the Medicare for all people who vote Democrat, and if they go with Biden, if they're so inept, they're going to lose decisively. I don't see it being close, but they're going to lose decisively. They don't want the Green Party wants these things. The Democratic Party does not want Medicare for all, Green New Deal. They don't want to pack the courts. They don't want to abolish the Electoral College. They don't want to defund police. They don't want to abolish ICE. They don't want to ban fracking. They don't want to add states. They don't want to abolish the Senate. These are the 8 absurd. Medicare for all is not an absurd idea, but it's not feasible, I don't think. It's a noble venture. It's a noble idea. It's not feasible. Just ask the Democrats. You can't say vote Democrat and then say you want Medicare for all, when you know that not only did they cheat Bernie Sanders in 2016, they cheated Bernie Sanders in 2020, and they got Elizabeth Warren to run, who stated that Bernie said a woman couldn't win. So there you go. But you look at Amy Coney Barrett, and President Trump has continued. See, they not only miscalculated, when they talk about Trump changing the judiciary for a generation, not just with the Supreme Court, but also with federal judges. Thank God. Okay? If, as somebody who's received a death threat, you want the Second Amendment. Okay? I literally went to the police, and God bless this LAPD officer. He said, look, you need to, essentially he told me you need to arm yourself. So God bless this man, and I did. Because guess what? It's my right as a U.S. citizen. You have to take your protection into your own hands. Not everybody can afford Chelsea Handlers or Michael Bloomberg's bodyguards. By the way, Chelsea Handler, you couldn't find a more racist person. Typical liberal. Typical bigot on the left. She had the audacity to tell 50 Cent... What's the exact quote? Brandon Tatum and I believe Anthony, Brian, Logan have great segments on this. Oh, Kevin's Corner has a great segment also. Somebody needs to tell it's pretty unbelievable. And then then the complex. Chelsea Handler explains on calling out Trump supporter 50 Cent. I had to remind him that he was a black person. What does that mean? And she's being celebrated. So if you're a black person, you can't vote for Trump. What kind of bigoted racist thinking is this? They've convinced themselves that Trump is so racist that they have the right to act racist. This is the mindset of the left, and she's being celebrated. It gets worse. It gets worse every day. What right does anyone have to bring up anyone's race or ethnicity when it comes to politics, especially in this environment? Especially in this environment, but there's rules for Hollywood and there's rules for you and me and everyone else. Remnant 0888. If Joe's numbers are that high, why is he only getting 8 to 15 people as well? Of course. Look, he's heading for and then they're spinning it now to Remnant 0888. He doesn't have any support. Now 50 Cent says F Trump. He never liked Trump. So they spin it to, it's such a good thing, you know? It's not this white liberal telling a person of color how to think or what to think. It's really like we're all on the same team against racist supremacist Trump. You couldn't find bigger supremacists than the white liberals in Hollywood. You couldn't find more racism. And it's completely accepted. It's completely accepted. It's unbelievable, too. But that's the media. I love this. 50 Cent makes an about face saying he never liked Donald Trump after his ex-girlfriend Chelsea Handler reads him the riot act. Oh, it's not racism. It's called reading him the riot act. They get away with everything. Who is a white woman to remind a black man who he is? But in this day and age, you can do that if you're on the left. But God forbid if there's any socially unacceptable statement made by a Trump supporter. Oh, even as a joke, just a joke. See, Chelsea Handler was serious. She was serious. Now, if you ask her about Libya, she probably wouldn't know. If you asked her about the 100-to-1 sentencing disparities from Biden, 100 people of color to one person that looks like Biden's son, who has done his best Laurence Olivier, so to speak. He's quite the movie star. But 100-to-1 sentencing disparity for 100 people of color to one person that looks like Biden, the vice president's son. For the same narcotic. Is that fair or just or moral? Is that justice? No, that's injustice. And that's systemic injustice. And that's what Biden presided over. The Central Park Five were sent to prison by Democrats, not by Trump. They focus. See, everything's a smokescreen. They focus on who was the Democratic mayor of New York, who was the Democratic governor of New York. It was Mario Cuomo. I believe Ed Koch was the mayor. But, ladies and gentlemen, you have two standards, two rules, and you cannot function in society with two rules, even if the dominant... see, when Republicans in the early 2000s, they actually had control of the media message. They even had, to an extent, early on, Hollywood. And that changed quickly. Now you have an even greater media onslaught. And this is not the beginning. It's not going to get that much worse than this. It could get worse, but this is actually the last days of a very, very... You want to talk about toxic. You want to talk about toxic. These are the last days of a very dangerous and pathetic paradigm propped up by a whole bunch of imbeciles. Christopher! Okay, let's see here. Lil Pump endorses President Trump. I have to be honest, I didn't know who this man was, but I just don't. Can I tell you something? I know as much about today's culture in terms of music and perhaps a lot of other things as young people today know about Two Live Crew or Seinfeld. Or they were asking. It was fantastic. There's like this. Hopefully, Dodgers win the next game. Oh my God! They were asking Cody Bellinger, who's awesome, if he knew who Seinfeld was, or the movie Seinfeld. He's like, gosh, I don't really. He didn't really know. It's like, look, if you're born in he was born in 1995. You're born in 1995. You don't know what Seinfeld is. You don't know. This was about 5-6 years ago. I was in a coffee shop, and I was talking to a friend, and then one of the workers there, we were like, I made a joke, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like Milli Vanilli. And this, the barista was like 23 or so. He was like, who's Milli Vanilli? I was like, who's Milli Vanilli? Oh my God. Like, you just if you're not of this era, so I'm from the 90s, so I didn't know who Lil Pump was, but he's endorsing. He's probably more popular than 50 Cent now, and so I probably should know who he is, but that's good. President Trump is going to get a greater percentage of the African American and black vote. And 50 Cent is already on record as he's already endorsed President Trump. He doesn't like him, but he wants to save money in taxes. That's actually a smart move. A very smart move. You've worked hard your whole life, and it is your prerogative to vote based on your pocketbook. It's your prerogative. Like Bobby Brown's, your prerogative. You can do what you want to do in life without getting chastised and without getting insulted from a racist perspective by people like Chelsea Handler. But again, they can get... Look, anything Democrats in Hollywood touch turns into Medicare for all, which is basically never going to take place. And that includes this 2020 campaign, if you can call it that. I am still holding out. I don't know how, but I can't believe they'd be serious to go into an election with a man who said just the other day that we've had enough of George W. Bush. He was about to say George W. Bush. I heard it. Then we have the entire planet looking at the integrity of his son. So, I mean, at a certain point, you can't blame yourself for what your kids do to an extent, but to an extent you can. To an extent, if you can't look, substance abuse affects all families. There is no family that substance abuse doesn't affect. But at a certain point, you have to look and say, okay, if your son is engaged in endless debauchery while at the same time selling the vice presidency, because, okay, Trump's kids never sold the vice presidency. Just apples to apples. They never sold Mike Pence's influence to anyone. Okay? The current Democratic challenger, his son did. And if you want to go and say, well, we don't know if the emails are verified, then treat it like the Steele dossier and talk about it endlessly. And just simply try to find out the truthfulness and if some things are accurate. You always found these articles, what we know to be true of the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier has been confirmed. A lot of things have been confirmed. The difference between the Steele dossier and the LMNOPQ message board nonsense, there was no difference. It was the same nonsense. You take something that's not real, not legitimate, and then you try to spin it as, oh, well, it helps. It's bringing support. You know, the Steele dossier and the LMNOP, it's not obviously a hoax, but it brings support in everyone. No. I'm going to Whole Foods. I'm not going where you're going. Why should I go where we go one? I don't want to go. I'm busy. You know what? I want to take a rest. I'm not going with you. I don't even know who you are. Why should I go with you? But the vote will be in a couple of hours from now. Exactly. James Derby. Is it possible for Trump to hit 270 electoral college votes outside of the mail-in voting chaos? I'm not exactly sure I understand. I believe absolutely. He will absolutely get the 270 plus. I think that on election night, he'll get past 270 to where they're going to have a very difficult time trying to cheat. So James, if he's up in Michigan, if he's up in Wisconsin, okay, and if he's up in Nevada, that is, let's see, let's go to 270 to win. James, thank you. Let's go to 270 to win. So what they're trying to do, obviously, is cheat like they did with Bernie Sanders last second. So, and then they're trying to win by saying, well, we were up in the polls, and because we were up in the polls, we can get a whole bunch of votes that were coming to us. The problem is the early voting in Michigan, like Trump is up. You could look at Target Smart. If you look at Target Smart, Trump is doing pretty well in the early vote. But let's just say that they win Pennsylvania. Okay? If they win Pennsylvania and if everything stays the same, which in terms of red states and blue states, James and everybody here, in terms of red states and blue states, if he loses Pennsylvania, he's still up 286 to 252. He's already won. Okay? 286 to 252. Okay? Now, let's just say he loses Wisconsin. And he wins Michigan. If he loses Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, it's 262 to 276. Then it comes down to what can they do to cheat in Michigan? That's it. What can they? And they're not going to be able to cheat in Michigan because you have John James who will win the Senate seat. And that's enough of, you not only have the enthusiasm for Trump, because there's a lot of people in Michigan, a lot of people who love Trump. Or who admire Trump and despise Biden. Most Democrats don't admire Biden. There's a difference. Most Democrats do not admire Biden. But it just comes down to about 5 states. That's it. It'll come down to really 5 states. Michigan, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Ohio. President Trump has won Florida and Ohio. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to cheat in Florida, but I don't think they're even going to get close. And they're going to try to cheat in Michigan. Because Pennsylvania I've given up on. But guess what? Trump could win Pennsylvania. And if he wins Pennsylvania, look, every swing state he wins, they're going to try to say that they're just waiting for ballots. That's it. Every swing state. Every single swing state that Trump wins, they're going to say, oh, well, we're just waiting for the mail-in vote we haven't counted. And you better believe that in Pennsylvania, they'll find enough mail-in votes to try to cheat and take it from Trump. So I'm giving up on Pennsylvania. Wolf, the governor, basically telegraphed exactly what he's going to do. So I hope I'm wrong. I'm not even counting on Pennsylvania. But guess what? There are a couple wild cards. Minnesota could turn red. Nevada could turn red. I think Minnesota will turn red. I think Nevada will turn red. That happens, they're done. Because then they have to cheat in Nevada and Minnesota, and then they have to also cheat in Michigan. Then they have to cheat. So there's going to be a scenario, James and everybody here, where they're going to need they're going to need the most obscene and hilarious and absurd and ludicrous mail-in rebound vote that it's going to be impossible. They're going to have like 3 to 4 states that they just miraculously win. That's what they're counting on. This is democracy to Democrats, losing on election day and winning with mail-in votes. And by the way, in Pennsylvania, you can't even challenge now signatures, but you definitely could challenge signatures when it came to Kanye West. That's how they got Kanye West off the ballot. These Democratic strategists, Kalanu, hello. These Democratic strategists were looking at signatures and saying, oh my God, this is impossible. I just think that you look at polls are tightening. Trump will deliver a stunning upset. Yahoo. This is Insider Monkey. So President Trump will deliver a win and victory. It won't be stunning if you've watched me and a whole bunch of about 10 other YouTubers. We're going to party on this channel. It is going to be, and I'm telling you the truth, and I don't say this because you're the best viewers in all of YouTube and I have the best viewership. It will be an honor, a great pleasure. It will be absolutely enjoyable. It will be such a wonderful experience to party with you. And when I say party, I mean it's going to be a party on this channel. We've all experienced the very bizarre, apoplectic, sometimes frightening reaction from people we've known forever. Because they've tried to create Trump into their own image of into their own loathsome, despicable, venomous image of a politician that they don't like, who they had to simply recreate. Okay, the Trump that they don't like is not Trump. What about his business deals, enriching himself in the White House? Where? What business deal is he enriching himself? Well, they're staying at his Trump Tower. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, you have foreign diplomats. Oh, my goodness. The room rate that he gets. Oh, my goodness. That's enough to, I don't know, equal the same room rate that he would get if another person stayed. So what? If he plants a bug in the rooms of these people and listens to their private affairs and uses, I mean, it's like what is he? How is he leveraging 92%? He's got 92% negative media coverage. The media has never been this biased ever. There have been times where the media has pushed the country into military conflict, yellow journalism in the late 1800s, early 1900s. But the media has never been this biased for one candidate in a presidential election. They're in the tank for one person. And they don't even like him. Okay, Botox B has no grassroots support. Zero. When I say zero, I mean zero. And they're heading for a very embarrassing night. If they just lose, it'll be embarrassing. Now, I think Trump will win Nevada. I think he'll win Minnesota. I think Trump will win Nevada and Minnesota. So, he wins Nevada and Minnesota, it's game over. He wins Nevada and Minnesota, it's game over. Absolutely game over. He could lose. Nevada and Minnesota is one Michigan. Or he wins Michigan and he loses Nevada, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. We'll do away with the Electoral College when Democrats do away with their state primaries, and they don't even go by popular vote within lists, like primaries like Iowa. They're the biggest hypocrites on the planet. And if you have the unfortunate, you can debate somebody. Don't do it because I've done it before, unfortunately. You could debate somebody you know. They will not acknowledge the truth and they will make things up. Or they're ignorant and they just repeat nonsense. Like Trump worked with Russia. And then you ask them how and they say, well, the intelligence agency said so. And then you're like, well, how is that proof? And they can't answer you. So, Tammy Eaton. Justice Amy Barrett fighting Trump versus Pennsylvania win. I can't. I hope it shovel it Schumer. Go shovel it Schumer. Tammy Eaton, thank you. I would love a Pennsylvania win. Let's look at Target Smart. Okay, so hold on. Let's look at Target Smart. All right, so early vote Target Smart. See, the early vote in Pennsylvania, that's going to be difficult because it's wow. If I'm reading this correctly, oh my God. This has to be wrong. Because Republicans are defeating Democrats in the early vote. And they were defeating Democrats in the early vote in 2020 as well, in 2016 as well. Republicans are defeating Democrats in the early vote in Michigan. Sorry, so I don't want to hear how suddenly a rush of ballots is going to give them. According to Target Smart, October 26. Republicans are already up. Now, I want you to look at also. So that's amazing. Now, in Nevada, where 62% of the votes have been cast in general election, Democrats are only up by 3 points, 47 to 44. Sorry, you're going to have a much greater disparity on election day between Trump and you have 8.3% unaffiliated. So Nevada could go Trump. That's what 6 electoral college votes. That's important. That is important. Now, if you look at, let's see, Wisconsin, it's the same thing. It's 36 to 40. I mean, he's on track to win Wisconsin, Michigan, according to early voting. Early voting is supposed to be a 70-30 split. It's supposed to be a 70-30 split. Tammy, everybody here, early voting is supposed to be a 70-30 split Democrats, and you're not getting that. Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada look very good for Trump. Ohio, he's crushing it. Republicans 45 to 41. Republicans 45% to Democrats. And that's not a 70-30 split. So Ohio, Nevada, Michigan, and Wisconsin, Republicans are doing amazingly well. And Florida, they're pretty much tied. 45 to 48. And President Trump got 300,000 more votes on Election Day in 2016. I mean, it's like people are going to show up, and the people are going to wait. The people who are going to wait the longest are Trump supporters, because they've had enough. Every disgruntled, maniacal, apoplectic, hysterical, frightening person in your life that you know who turned into a gremlin because of media reports on how Trump is a supremacist who worked with Russia. I mean, these are made up accusations. They simply don't like his personality. It's not enough for you to wait 8 hours, 7 hours. I don't want Trump supporters to wait 7 hours, but you know what? They will. Get there early. Especially if you're older, get there early. Get there early. Find out if you can vote via curbside. Florida looking really good. Now Pennsylvania doesn't look good. Let's see, Pennsylvania. But that's okay. You can't. But they've only cast 23% of the vote. So this is interesting. Pennsylvania, only 23% of the vote has been cast. So there they have a 65-27 split. Pennsylvania, according to TargetSmart, is the only, and this is a data, a firm that analyzes data. Pennsylvania is the only swing state, that Pennsylvania is the only swing state that you have the ratio you're supposed to, according to the apoplectic media reports. I will have gotten 2 straight elections, along with some amazing YouTubers who are even better than me. And 538 will have, and everyone else will have gotten it wrong again. 2 straight elections. Not many people, though, have made categorical claims that President Trump's going to win on YouTube for 4 years. I think it's only me and Sticks X and Hammer and perhaps 2 or 3 others. Because I said Clinton, and I'm still waiting because I don't believe it. But I also, every single day I said Clinton, every single day for the past 4 years I said Trump's going 8 years. Count Bubala. HSC said to premiere on New York Times. I know. Angela Goodwin. Oh, I know. Angela, Mrs. Harris said too much. Oh my God. That makes 2/3. Angela Goodwin, one of the most learned, especially in terms of history. I respect your intellect greatly. Angela Goodwin, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. Teresa King! I went to my first Trump rally last Saturday in Circleville, Ohio. There was another person that went to Circleville, Ohio. It was indescribable. I can't imagine anything better. So much fun, so much love. Thank you, Teresa. There was another person, Teresa, on this channel that went there. There's another H.A. Goodman viewer. Daisy! Cocoa Daisy! I'm sorry to hear someone threaten you, H.A. Thank you for the amazing work you do. Daisy, you are absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Daisy, thank you so very, very much. Yeah, it was on the left. Somebody on the left. Literally, I was on the left, and it was from somebody on the left. It wasn't a Trump supporter. Daisy, it wasn't a Trump supporter. It was just, this is what they do, Daisy. They intimidate each other. And this is a person, I believe, like to the left of me, but not really, because he's very likely, I don't know if I have no clue if he'll vote Democrat. It's a very, very bizarre situation. Very bizarre situation. The whole thing was bizarre. And then the person just like snapped. And I was like, okay, I know what you're doing. And this is very bizarre. And then he threatened my life, and I'm like, what? They always try to play these games. The left tries to play these games. And they think that like everyone's going to be Bernie Sanders. I'm not Bernie Sanders. I'm a lot more like President Trump in terms of fighting. In terms of defending yourself. And you know, you need to defend, you need to stand up and defend yourself. I will always do that. I will not be like Bernie Sanders, who doesn't defend. I will be a lot more like President Trump, who defends himself, always. President Trump defends himself and defends his voters. And he defends his voters. You know, but Bernie doesn't defend his voters, and his voters are like, oh, that's fine. Daisy, thank you so very much. Daisy, thank you so very, very much. Very, very, very kind of you, Daisy. Thank you. Please be here November 3rd. Please be here November 3rd. It's going to be amazing. Daisy, thank you so very much. Teresa, thank you. PJP72. When intelligence agencies say computer Israel, they don't trust the intent. Exactly. We win Pennsylvania. New York Times poll. Texas Hispanics falling for Trump. You have to win. You have to win. For Democrats, you need like well over 30% of the Latino vote, and you need over 90% of the African American vote. You're not going to get either. Because Democrats don't have the other demographics at all. So PJP 72, thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Latinos are going to give President Trump the victory. They're going to give President, and he's going to get a greater proportion of black men. Because 15% of black men voted for President Trump, and he'll get a greater percentage. And he'll get greater percentage of Jewish vote. He'll get a greater percentage of Asian Americans. He'll get a greater percentage of everybody. President Trump's going to have a very nice night. Do you understand? Lay low until fly casual, just like Star Wars. Fly casual. Fly casual until next Monday. And then continue to fly casual, but just enjoy. Just enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Just enjoy. You got to enjoy next Monday. You got to savor it. It isn't just U.S. history. It's the history of your life. It's not just the history of the country. It's the history of your life. You've had to endure this nonsense from people. Sore losers. Sore losers. Sore losers. Daisy and everybody here, they've been sore losers for about 4 years. Okay? Sore losers. And you look, and it's what, next Tuesday? A week and a day. Remember the whole Nightmare on Elm Street song? 1, 2, Freddy's come for you. It'll be like 1, 2, Trumpies come for you. 3, 4, there's a giant orange looking man at the door. Trumpy's coming for you. It's November 3rd, next Tuesday. Trump's coming for you, Democrats. There's nothing you could do about it. Sorry. Nothing you could do about it, Democrats. The entire edifice, their rotten edifice, is going to come crumbling down on November 3rd. And the meltdown is going to make 2016 look like this hilarious, happy time for Democrats. Daisy, thank you. PJP72, thank you. Mitchell Smith. HA, remember President Trump set an all-time record turnout in almost every state in his uncontested primary, Trump 2020. Exactly. That's Helmut Norpoth. That was what Helmut Norpoth was saying. And Biden couldn't buy a vote, which I'm sure he tried to do. Exactly. Mitchell Smith, Helmut Norpoth was saying that's his primary model. First 3 or 4 primaries. Mitchell Smith, thank you so very, very much. Thank you. I mean, and Mitchell, it makes sense because the first 3 or 4 primaries, media isn't involved. Media jumps on the bandwagon. Sam, hello. Media jumps on the bandwagon. They're going to gravitate towards the victor. Or they're going to gravitate towards the person they think's going to win. That's what's going to happen. And the first 3 or 4 primaries, that takes the media out of the equation. Ruby's 200. I predict Democratic Party will go extinct. As Biden said, inshallah, hopefully. Let's pray. I think the current Democratic Party is already extinct. They're just waiting for November 3rd to let them know. Ruby's 200, thank you. William Holloway. I love how there's a delay on your live videos. YouTube be the William, thank you. Mazel tov in 8 days. William Holloway, thank you so very, very, very much. It'll be a Mazel tov moment full of nachas and simcha for everybody. William Holloway, thank you so very much as always, William. Christian O'Brien! Hello, Mr. O'Brien. Christian O'Brien, thank you. The best history teacher I ever had. The best history teacher I ever had was named O'Brien. Christian O'Brien. Oh, there's two. I have two best history teachers. Two best history teachers. He's definitely one of the two. Christian O'Brien, thank you. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Wow, this is a fantastic article. He actually did pretty well. They actually, hold on one second. Let's see. If you look at what they said, Michigan was slated to lose by Trump was slated to lose by 4.1 points according to all the polls. He won by 0.2 points. He just lost by more. The reason, the whole popular vote thing, he lost by more in Democratic-run states. So what? Basically, Clinton won the popular vote because of California. And then, Madam Secretary, is an insult to the American people that the GOP is ramming. You should talk to the Vice President's son about that. He's ramming through a Supreme Court justice with just 8 days until the election, which nearly 60 million people have already voted. So what? They were so good at bringing up the obvious and trying to turn the obvious into some kind of lecture. People are... I just can't believe that there's an election. Yeah, so what? Well, you didn't want Merrick Garland. Yeah, you wanted Merrick Garland. Do you not see that's hypocritical also? What? No, the hypocrisy is one way. Exactly. Hello, Sam. Hello, Ronald. Exactly. I look like Max Headroom. Joseph, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. Boobala! Chat is starting to feel like pre-funk for November 3rd. I agree. Tammy Eaton. The whole effing corrupted temple is coming down. It's going to be biblical. Exactly. That's a fantastic comment. Oh, my God. That is such a fantastic comment. Yes. It's all coming crashing down. You would think when they hit the iceberg, maybe they want to go around the iceberg. Maybe they don't want to fly off the cliff again and rebel without a cause. Maybe, just maybe. The meltdown alone from celebrities, because, the celebrities, they're going to be like, this is my time to shine. Bob Barker. Johnny Oh, Ma Barker. Yes. Yes. It was like, oh my God. Ma Barker / Madam Secretary. Oh my God. That's so great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you tonight at 9 p.m. We did a good hour. Tammy, fantastic comment. Luke, Eric, 2 best moderators in all of YouTube. I hope I gave you props in the beginning. Luke, St. Martin. Eric, age 526. Josh, hello, Josh. I hope all is well. Hello, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all. I'll see you at 9 p.m. Pacific. Be here for the week-long celebration. This is 8 days to an early Christmas for everybody, ladies and gentlemen. The presents are the Electoral College. And they're you know what? They're going to the vice president's son is going to stuff their stockings, the Democratic stockings, with something. Lord knows what. I don't even want to think. Anyway, be here at 9 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Be here at 9 p.m. tonight. Josh, thank you. Everybody here, thank you. Daisy, thank you so very, very much, Daisy, so much. Thank you. Everybody, thank you. I'll see you at 9, everybody. Have a great